So the 2020 vintage of the Syrah begins with picking the fruit off of the vines here on the 31st of August. So the hand-picked fruit comes off the vines, gets trucked up to the vineyard where it's crushed and destemmed, and the process continues. In Justin's truck. He let me borrow his truck, which was really cool, so I can get all this fruit to the house and don't have to transfer it in the fermenters in Leslie's car. So that's kind of cool. Get to drive the truck here to the house and offload what looks like 800 pounds worth of fruit. Bucket brigade time. Moving this to the fermenters. 1.
You need 9 buckets?
2. I think so, yeah. 3. 4. 5. Oh, where's Lucy and Ethel when you need them? Nice cool juice.
Are we gonna be drinking this?
Oh, don't worry. The alcohol will take care of anything that you don't want to taste. Okay, so now that we've got the must here, doing the chemical analysis, turned out beautifully. The pH came in right where you want it to be at 3.35, and the sugar is at 23 brick, which is really nice. It's not going to be an alcoholic bomb, but it's a good balance. And now we're going to measure titratable acidity. So we can, I think it's going to be balanced. I don't have to even do anything, but that's an important part of the winemaking process. Hey, September 1st, this is the day after the crush destem, and I'm here in the kitchen. I am preparing the yeast. Here we have 80 grams of dry yeast with some yeast food called Go Firm, which is nutrients that the yeast needs in order to come back to life healthy. Water temperature is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just perfect for rehydrating the yeast and getting it back to life from its state of suspended animation. So here in about 15 minutes, it goes into the must. Once it's in the must, and that's what you call the crushed up grapes before it's wine, it's must. But then we put this yeast in there, and the yeast is going to start converting the sugar to alcohol. And when it does that, voila, the must becomes wine. Okay, it's been 20 minutes since I pitched the yeast into the slurry here. It's acclimated. All the big lumps are gone. It's got the Go Firm food with it. So now it's time to introduce these little plants to the world of the must. And it's a very complicated procedure. You pour. See how complicated that was? And that's it. So now I'm just going to pour it in. And each, oh, it looks like Leslie's barfing because she doesn't like the smell of the Go Firm. You okay, honey?
Woo!
It's a messy business just being a winemaker.
It stinks really bad.
It stinks really good. Anyway, that's what's going on here. Next time I'll show you I won't show you all the dishwashing that's going to happen. I'll just have to show you the fermentation when it's actively going. So check back. Hey, it's been 24 hours since we put the yeast into the must, turning this into wine. So now we're going to see if it's working. So let's just do that right now. We're going to take the lid off. Woo! It's working. That is carbon dioxide. So get a picture of this here, honey. Punching down, please. Get a picture of the grapes. So what we got is a little bit of bubbles. See these little bubbles here? That's carbon dioxide coming off. That's a result of the fermentation. The yeasts are converting sugar to alcohol and carbon dioxide. So what I'm doing here is just punching down the cap and making sure that any skins get get saturated with wine. But an important thing that has to be done now is to see where we are in the progress. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what the sugar is, how much sugar has been converted. If you can take a look at this, this is like what's called a China hat in here. Can you see? So I'm just going to get some juice. This is called a wine thief for obvious reasons. We're thieving some wine out of here. So I'm going to take this and then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to float my hydrometer in this. This is going to measure the amount of sugar that's in there. And we started out with 23% sugar, and by golly, it's down to 20% sugar right now. So that means our fermentation is moving along, and we've dropped 3% in sugar in 24 hours. Right? So we went from 23% sugar to 20, and the temperature of the must is 75.5. So I'll keep a record of that. Do this 3 times a day on each one of these fermenters, which, by the way, these are not trash bins. These are food safe plastic to be used for the fermenters, so it's not going to affect the taste of the wine. There you go, 3 times a day, each one of these things for the next 5 to 7 days. Hey, so now we're on Thursday, day 3 here, and let's take a look at how much carbon dioxide is being kicked off as we're getting down from 23 bricks all the way down around 15. Okay, so here's the cap. That's the skins that are kind of dried out at the top. Now watch what happens. Now you're seeing the carbon dioxide coming out, all those bubbles. If you had smell-o-vision, you'd smell it. It's kind of like a bakery in here, but what I'm doing is I'm reincorporating all these skins into the juice, which is now wine. It's wine now. Not very good, but it's wine. But that's what will be done here. That's all the carbon dioxide that is going to be released. Phew. But we're about almost halfway there. Hey, it's Saturday morning. This is the 4th day of fermentation. And what in the world do we have here? What is this monstrosity? I put this together last night because ordinarily I freeze water bottles over here in the deep freezer that I made, so that when the wine temperature gets up about 85 degrees, I don't want to get any warmer than that, I just take some jugs of frozen water and I put them in the fermenters. Well, it broke down, it quit working. It's a pretty old thing, so you have to adapt and overcome. So I built this monstrosity out of the cellar. I just extended it so I could slide the fermenters in and try to control the temperature. So now I'm going to check the temperature on this punch down this morning and see if it worked. I'm going in.
This looks like maybe something out of Breaking Bad.
It is totally legal. Okay, here's the moment of truth to see what the temperature is. If my strategy helped bring this down to below 85 overnight, then I'll just keep doing that. So let's just find out real quick here. Ooh, this is like almost done fermenting.
It doesn't smell as strong or bad.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it? That's because there's not much alcoholic fermentation going on here. I'll take a sample, get the temperature. Moment of truth. See if my strategy worked. Okay, looking good. Well, yeah, it's dropped down to 77.5. So it worked doing that overnight. Good. Let's see what our alcohol is. I should say, see what our sugar is. Five. Okay, so we're at 5 brick. Temperature's under control. Well, it's supposed to be 100 and 105 degrees Fahrenheit here today and tomorrow. The temperature of the must is 77 degrees, which is good. I'm gonna have to think about whether I want to put those back in that or not. Decision made. I'm not putting them back into the cellar right now. I'm just going to use the fan. See if I can get the temperature to stay in the high 70s. Because the fermentation is not very active anymore. It's still going on, but there's not a whole lot of heat being generated. And I don't want to get them too cool. I want to keep them moving along, keep my yeast happy. So we'll check it this afternoon and see if my strategy is working out. Okay, here's to the end of the press for the 2020 Syrah.
Ooh, nice glass.
Cheers. I just watched them.
Cheers. Oh my,
Smells good.
that's really good. It's not tannicky at all. It's gonna really settle out. This free run is gonna be beautiful. Okay, so what is this? The 9th of September. It's been 2 days since we pressed. We put all the wine in here. Now the gross lees are at the very bottom. I don't know if you can see it. Can you check video that? Look at the very bottom of that. See how you've got a sludgy looking, there you go. Yeah, see that pinky stuff? That's the gross lees. And so we're gonna take the wine off the gross lees, put them into the barrels, and then do the malolactic bacteria to soften up the acid. So that's what we're doing today. Yeah. Let gravity do its work. Nice and soft and easy on the wine. I just create a little suction in the racking hose and off we go. So here is what's left behind. This is the sludgy, heavy, gross lees that we're getting rid of so that we can start fining up this wine.